Today we have undoubtedly one of the most anticipated hatchbacks in the Indian market. It is the 2024 Maruti Suzuki Swift. Now the Swift brought the sportiness in the hatchback because hatchbacks were looked at affordable cars which were for family, but this brought the zing into that segment. Now we are going to find out if the 2024 Swift brings the sportiness in the hatchback segment. So come, let's find out. So let's take a look at the design of the brand new Swift. Now the first thing that you notice is the front grille right here. It's all black, glossy black. It really does stand out. It actually is quite eye-catching, and for a hatchback we believe it is quite intimidating and has a road presence of its own. Now you look at the headlamps. Now it has that smoky darkish tinge, which again is very unique for a hatchback segment, but it also comes with all LED lighting, so that includes the headlamps and the boomerang LED DRLs. Yes, that's what Maruti calls it. But another great thing here is that the fog lamps are also all LEDs. So this again shows that Maruti has packed the Swift with a lot of features. You take a look at the design of the bumper. It is very muscular, especially in the lower part area or the lower lip. It looks muscular and also is very sporty. Now let's take a look at the bonnet, because this design is something what Maruti calls as a wraparound design. It may look a little bit bulbous, maybe even a little bit more sportier, but has these additional character lines that you can see from the side. It goes from the bonnet all the way to the rear cluster. Now from the side profile, it does look very similar to the previous Swift, and that is a good thing because the silhouette also has a very signature-ish Swift. You look at the alloy wheels. This is the top model. It comes with a 15-inch dual tone alloy wheels. Now the standard version comes with a 14-inch steel ones. The ground clearance of the Swift is around 163 mm, which is fairly decent for a hatchback. Now the new addition here is that the rear handle door is back to the traditional place. Previously it used to be merged here in the C-pillar, but this I feel is a lot more convenient, conventional as well. Do let us know what you think of this feature. Why mess up with the design when you have a pretty much iconic rear? This is an evolution, but it just looks a lot more butch, lot more muscular. And of course, if you take a closer look at the tail lamp cluster, it is brand new and it has all LED lights like the headlamp, and it gets a new C-shaped tail lamp. If you take a look at the roof line, it does get a sort of a roof extension or a roof spoiler, so that adds to the flavor of its sportiness. You take a look also at the bumper. It is a lot more chunky, and this is what we are talking about. It is an evolution, but it does look a lot more muscular. Take a look at the exhaust, and it comes with a sporty metal finish. So these are little touches which Maruti Suzuki has done to give it a premium look. Now let's quickly take a look at the boot space. Now according to Maruti, they have reworked the boot a bit, but the capacity remains more or less the same at 265 liters. So what is new? Let's take a look here. Now if you take a look, the boot space's floor is a lot more lower. So what that means is you can actually put one bag over the other, so the capacity sort of increases. On the hind side, yes, when you have a trolley bag or something, so the height of lifting and putting it in the boot is a little bit more. So these are the pros and cons of the 265 liter boot space. You step inside the car and the cabin is very familiar because it's based on the design of both the Franks and the Baleno. And that is a good thing because it does look very modern. But let's take a closer look at the cabin itself. The dashboard, you take a look, it has this multi-layer. These are hard plastics. They have added some design layer right here. And then you have this silver insert right here to add that sporty nature. Also, you see that the top of the line model comes with climate control buttons. It has these dials right here, also silver finish, pretty eye-catching. The air vents over here, well, the plastic quality could have definitely been better. You can see that they have done some serious cost cutting here. But let's get down to this fellow right here. This is a 9-inch floating touchscreen, and this is something that we have seen in earlier Maruti models as well, the new ones of course. It is now equipped with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which the earlier Swift did not come with. It also comes with wireless phone charger now. Again, that's also something that the earlier Swift didn't come with. It does have a USB port right here, and of course your 12-volt socket right here for additional devices. If you're thinking that why they don't have a Type-C, hold on to your horses. They have it right here in the rear. We'll talk about that later. Now, coming back to other details in the car, you can see the Swift also comes with a brand new upholstery and has these additional side bolsters to give you that additional support. But honestly, it's a bit soft, and as we're just doing a first drive right now, we'll know more in details if this soft cushion is going to offer you better support or not. But all in all, it does look pretty decent. Now, the instrument cluster itself, they have tweaked it. It still is predominantly an analog dial. It has that RPM meter on the left hand side and your speed dial right there. In middle, you have a 4.2 MID display, or just a multi-information display, and you can see right there it also offers you turn-by-turn navigation. So you might have been using your Google Maps on the infotainment system, but you can just quickly glance below and you know which way to go. What it misses out is in front ventilated seats. That is something I feel all manufacturers should look at it and offer, because it is very important in India. Speaking of Indian market, we love sunroof no matter how many memes people make, and this car sadly does not come with a sunroof. Is it a miss? We certainly think so, because when Maruti did offer sunroof in their other cars, they themselves acknowledged that the market really loves sunroof. So maybe this is something additional they'll offer later on. So this is how it looks like in the front. Now we'll go to the rear seat and find out about the space and comfort. So let's start with what is new, and that has to be the rear AC vent. This is the first for a Swift. Definitely a very practical feature. On top of that, as we mentioned before, you have your charging port options right here. This is the Type-C that I had mentioned before, and this is the traditional USB port. And over here you can just leave your phone here as well while it's charging. So how is the space? The space and the height is more or less the same as the previous generation. I'm 5'9". I have fixed the front seat according to my height, and you can see there's a lot of knee room. Absolutely no issues at all. Also, I can slide my legs, so again, more space for me. In terms of shoulder space, I would say that this is ideal for 2 adults and 1 child sitting in the middle. Otherwise, it can be quite cramped. It does come with adjustable headrest, which is very comfortable. In terms of headroom, it is fairly okay. It doesn't really affect you much unless you are over 6 feet in height. Otherwise, it's pretty much alright. So the space for the middle passenger is quite cramped, as you can see. The AC vent, the rear AC vent here, it actually eats into the leg room. So you got to put 1 foot here and 1 foot here. So you also kind of encroach in the other passenger's space. So as again we mentioned earlier, it is ideal for a child to sit in the middle. So the new Swift gets a brand new 3-cylinder engine, and we're going to tell you what the 7 Series is all about, how it behaves in real driving conditions. Now, when you just slot in the gear and step on the accelerator, it picks up pace in a very measured way. Like this 4-cylinder version, it used to pick up pace very quickly. It's not as responsive as the previous version, but it has enough juice to tackle your commuting traffic, bumper to bumper traffic, your city urban traffic. You'll have no issues at all. But yeah, if you're on an empty stretch, or if you're driving on the highway, then you will feel that it could have been a little bit more responsive. But if you drive within 2000 rpm, the engine is fairly smooth. It is a tad bit noisy, and if you cross that 3000 rpm, well, it becomes quite buzzy. So that is what the new engine is all about. The gear shift is more or less on short throws, so short gear ratios, and the brand new clutch, it is very light, so it makes driving a lot more easier and effortless. So what about the ride and handling? Well, when it comes to ride, it comes the brand new suspension setup. It is slightly on the firm side, but then it's not that uncomfortable. Yes, when you go over deep potholes, yes, you got to be a bit careful, especially for the rear passengers, because it is going to be quite a rude awakening. But that ensures that the Swift has not lost its handling capabilities. It is still one of the best in the segment, still has that go-kart sort of a feeling, and you just take a quick turn, it goes, it's tarmac hugging. It basically is the car to drive if you are in this segment. So does the 2024 Swift has its sporty, zingy DNA? Well, in many ways it does, and it doesn't also, because the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder is more on the fuel efficiency side. It doesn't have that punch that the 4-cylinder offered. But again, it has class-leading fuel economy and beats the Tata Tiago and the Grand i10 Neos and even the Citroen C3. It also is better equipped. It offers 6 standard airbags. It has a lot of creature comfort as well. Quality could have been better. Engine is a bit noisy. But again, all in all, when you go back to that nostalgic moment, well, it is a Swift and it will bring back a lot of nostalgia to people. So it'll definitely sell a lot of cars. But the pricing point again is something that is going to make a lot of people think twice, because it is very expensive compared to its rivals. But then wait a minute, when you look at the older pricing of the Swift, it is around 25 to 30,000, maybe even 35,000 difference. So in reality, the Swift has always been a little bit more on the premium side, continues to do so, and we still believe that's going to sell a lot. Well, what do you think of the 2024 Swift? Do you think it's a runaway success? If not, well, whatever you think, do let us know. We would love to hear from you, and do like and subscribe our channel. And as always, we are more than eager to listen to what you think about this new Swift.